Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Kelton with another video. So happy New Year's to everybody. I appreciate you guys watching the channel and subscribing. If you haven't subscribed, please do so. I really appreciate it. Let's look at this year versus last year. So I like doing these videos because they're very kind of eye-opening when you start looking at the numbers and comparing them to the previous year. So this last year was our third year in business, second year full-time. So like I said in the previous video, first year we did 24,000 part-time. Second year I went full-time and we did 160,000. And then just now at the end of this third year, we closed out at like 243. So 243,000 at the end of the third year. What we saw was with the quarterly reports. Now, if you look on a monthly report, the monthly reports are just chaos. I mean, they are. It was like high, low, high, low, high, low, high, low. So it didn't really paint a pretty picture for like the seasonality of our industry. But that was because we've built pretty good relationships with like commercial contracts to be able to have some really big commercial jobs in there that kind of offset it. But it really does just kind of make it chaotic, and that's kind of how it feels too. It's like it's the emotional roller coaster. It's you did 30,000 this month, and then you did 9,000 this month, and then you did another 30 this month, and then you did 7 this month, and then you did 28 this month, and so the ups and downs, those peaks and valleys, they make this job, although it's rewarding, they make it extremely stressful. So looking at those numbers monthly allows us to see, okay, well, where's most of our dips at? And if we're having all these little dips in certain areas, then let's start taking, how can we strategically fill in those valleys? So what we notice is that our percent return for customers was actually very low. I don't have an exact percentage for you, just kind of going through the year and realizing like we haven't had a huge influx of like repeat customers. So what we do have is our CRM actually gives us a report of all the customers that have been contacted within the last year, or haven't been given a quote or whatever within the last year. So what we want to do is we want to go back and look and say, okay, here's all the customers that we haven't done within the last year. They're actually a warm lead for us because we've done work for them before in the past. Most of them have probably left us Google reviews, so they liked us. Let's try to reach back out, connect to them again, and try to get them back on the schedule and try to schedule them in some of those valleys, so that way we can kind of start planning that out so it's not such a roller coaster ride, so we have more highs and then more of a plane instead of like these big drops. So that's one of the things that we're doing, is we're trying to do that. We may incentivize that for some of our previous customers, give them a discount to do it, because again, they're our customers. We've gone out and cleaned their homes. So anytime you're cleaning up behind yourself, the work should be easier. You've already done the work. You're cleaning up behind yourself. You're not having to go out there and correct stuff or whatever from somebody who didn't have any business owning a pressure washer. So that's one of the things that we're focusing on this year, is trying to fill in those valleys. But again, we also had that quarterly report. So looking at that quarterly report and seeing this nice, it skyrockets. But you can see that what that is that's brand new business. It's a startup. We're just kind of getting our feet wet. We start to kind of gain some momentum. We start figuring out what we're doing. We start building relationships. We start networking, and it just grows and grows and grows. Now, this last year, I took on a full-time employee, so that allowed me to have more time to do quotes. Me and I were both able to go out and get stuff done quicker, so I was able to spend a little bit more time getting some better quotes and really kind of padding the calendar for us. So we got to these really high, like $50,000 quarters. So they're like $55,000 to $60,000 like per each quarter, which worked out pretty good for us. But it was almost like consistent. There was very little drop in the quarters. So what we did worked. It got us to those consistent $50,000 quarters. But if we want to keep this, these little peaks and valleys quarterly to increase, if we want to get those to start going up, then we're going to have to make adjustments. So what kind of adjustments are we going to make this year versus the previous years that's going to get us more sales per month? What's going to increase our ticket value? And what's going to show like the significant increase in those quarterly sales again? So a few things we're doing is we're going to go back and we're going to start looking at, again, quoting all of the services every single time. We do that pretty decently, but then again, sometimes you're just kind of in a hurry and you just want to get out there and you just want to kind of quote them what they're asking for, and maybe one or two things. We get into a big habit of like only quoting about 3 services when we've probably got about 10 services that we could offer. So just being able to offer like all 10 of those services at one time is definitely going to help us to increase, if not even potentially double what our residential tickets are. So that's one of the things that we want to do. The other one is having someone fully dedicated to sales, like full time. So that's what I've done is I took my lead tech that was on the truck with me. I have classified him as my territory manager now, and since this is the first week of the year, I've actually kicked him off the truck. I do not want to see his face back on my truck. Love the guy to death, but I need him doing sales. Go out and push sales, and we can speak for our company. And there's this desire to get off the truck. I've been saying it in all my videos for like the last 2 years. I want to get off this truck. But again, I have to be very like business oriented, business mindset, that it would actually hurt us for me to get off of this truck first as opposed to him getting off the truck, because he's so much more connected in the community. He has incredible relationships with all the people that you would want somebody in the sales business to have relationships with. All the county people, all the city employees, like anybody and everybody, like commercial wise. You talk about whale fishing, like he is the captain of the sea when it comes to whale fishing. He knows where all the whales are. He already knows what they like, and all he's got to do is basically just go and present the bait in front of them. So I made the decision to stay on the truck. I'm the better technician, and it's going to be better for me to be on the truck and be able to create the systems that I need for my new technician to start implementing, to make sure that like we're handling everything on the spot and making sure that we're ironing out all the wrinkles for how this truck needs to operate to support us having really, really profitable months. And then him being dedicated full-time to doing it. We already saw the increase in sales by me just having somebody on the truck with me, because we were getting stuff done during the day, and then having time in the mornings or the afternoons to go do sales. But now that I have somebody dedicated strictly to sales, now we get out of this cycle of sell it, do it, sell it, do it, sell it, do it, sell it, do it, which is what creates those valleys. Is when you are still on the truck, you don't have anybody dedicated to doing sales, then that's what happens. Is you sell it, so you get a really good month as you're working on it, and then the next month you didn't sell anything all last month because you were working. So now you got to sell it again. So then you just kind of do this number. And in order to get rid of that, we're gonna have somebody who's doing nothing but sales full time. So I'm very excited to see the increase that's gonna happen this year with it. Again, the dude is he's killer at sales already anyways. And he's already gone around and talked to, like, this is January 4th, and he's already gone and talked to 5 hotels, I think, that he's already got bids out for. And one is like mega relationship, a bunch of different HOAs and stuff that they have. So that's going to be potentially something really good for us this year, again, continuing on. So anyways, that's kind of some of the things that we're doing. Those are some of the numbers over this last year. One of the numbers that people don't usually talk about is, okay, well, how much did I make? How much did I take home at the end of the year? How much was I able to pay myself? Now, you guys know I use that profit first system. And that profit first system says, hey, 50% is owner's pay. Now, I wish I took home $120,000 this year. I didn't do that. What I did is I made adjustments. You know, as you grow, you have to make adjustments to those percentages. So no, I did not pay myself 50%, but I keep adjusting those percentages down because as my monthly sales increase, my percentage of take home out of the company can come down, and I still make more money because the company's making more money. So in order for my company to grow and thrive, I have to be feeding it. And if I'm taking home too much money myself, I'll never have the money set aside that I need to be able to do the marketing, to be able to do the networking, to be able to afford the new equipment, to be able to afford the payroll. And that's the big thing, is like I offset some of my take home. Okay, so if I'm at 50%, then all of a sudden I say, okay, well, I'm going to take 10% out of my 50%, knock me down to 40%, and then I've got an extra 10% now that I can put towards payroll. And then, you know, you make your adjustments. Now, yes, I'm not taking home as much temporarily. I'll take a short-term loss for that long-term gain, because now that I've got the payroll and we're getting stuff completed earlier, now I can actually go back and start making more money, and then my account starts to grow as well. So anyways, I've made the adjustments. I've decreased my percentage of take home so that way that my company can be healthy. I can keep putting money back into it. So out of the $243,000, or the $243,000 that we did this past year, I took home about $85,000. So in 3 years, I went from just doing this part-time on the weekend to, you know, I just paid myself $85,000 this year, which is awesome. I mean, it really is. That's what I was making at my previous job, but I'm making that Monday through Friday. I don't work weekends anymore. I don't work overtime. Most of the time I'm only working about 30 to 35 hours a week, versus I made $85,000 building planes, but I averaged 900 to 1,000 hours of overtime every single year. So to be able to make the same thing and only work 30 to 35 hours a week, which is where I've gotten us to be able to only work, you know, 30 to 35 hours a week, is fantastic. I mean, the quality of life that I have is better. You know, being able to actually plan things with my family, you know, being able to make my family a priority, you know, and go to birthdays, go to holidays, take vacations when I need to take vacations, take the time off when my wife has time off, has just been, it's been worth everything. I mean, that has been the greatest reward. And though it's chaotic, it really is. You know, I wish I could say that, like, I just paid myself consistently through the entire year. It doesn't work out like that. Not yet. It hasn't made it to that point yet. Hopefully this year we can get it there. That's the goal. But overall, just to be able to do that and, you know, compensate myself as well as I was making at my previous job within 3 years, it's fantastic. You know, mind you, it's only been, you know, 2 years, so I took a little dip. I took a little loss in income that first year full time, which I think I paid myself maybe $60,000, $50,000 or $60,000 that first year full time. To, you know, now $85,000 this year. Really great. So there's a little bit more on like the inside of the numbers. This is not a get-rich-quick scheme. It's really not. If you're not business-minded and you're not reading the books and you think that you're going to get there just being technical, you guys really need to do your homework, understand how much it takes to run a company, understand how much you need to be paying yourself, look into that profit first system. I'll probably make a video for you guys on that coming up soon. That way it kind of goes into it a little bit more, kind of go into some of the details on it and how that works. If you guys are up for it. So if you want to see that video, just leave me a like, leave me a comment in there, and I'll try to make that one of my next videos. We've got the office now, we've got the whiteboard, and try to make some more educational stuff for you guys. And again, I'm not trying to be any guru. All of these videos that I'm making is literally like, hey, this is what I've done, this is what I'm doing, here's where I'm at 3 years down the road, here's what I'm looking at doing in the future. So anyways, appreciate you guys. Thanks. All love. See you guys later.